We are coming live via Facebook streaming, also via YouTube streaming and Skype. Transformation happens when actions evolve out of awareness. Transformation happens when actions evolve out of awareness. There is a direct connection between transformation and awareness. Heraclitus says one should never act or speak as if one is asleep. It's not like a sleepwalker. All actions need to evolve out of awareness. Only then transformation is possible. Act, speak, and do anything that you would like to do with full awareness. Then you will find a tremendous change taking place in you. You sow the seeds of change in you. The moment this happens, you act, sleep, or whatsoever you are doing is happening out of your awareness. Act, sleep, and do anything does not matter what you are doing. Whatsoever you do with full awareness will bring about transformation into you, and that will not be considered a misdemeanor or sin in you. The very act that you are aware brings a new quality to your action. Now this action is not evolving out of, is not going to register any impression in you. The very fact that you are aware changes your act, then you cannot commit sin. Not that you have to control yourself. No, it does not happen. You do not have to control yourself. Control is a poor substitute for awareness, that you are controlling your anger, you are controlling your lust, you are controlling anything. Control is a poor substitute for awareness. A very, very poor substitute, and that cannot help you. If you are aware, you need no control. You need not control your anger, because in awareness, anger never arises. They exist together. There is no coexistence for them. In awareness, jealousy never arises. In awareness, many things disappear as if they never existed. All the things that are negative simply dissolve in pool of awareness. But sometimes to bring this awareness, we use certain techniques, certain methodologies we use. All the things that are negative, anger, jealousy, lust, hatred, simply dissolve in the pool of awareness. You have discovered this pool deep within you. It is just like a light. When light is in your house, how can darkness exist there? It simply escapes out. Simply escapes out. When your house is lighted, how can you stumble? How can you knock at the wall? The light is there, you know where the door is, you know where the wall is. You simply reach to the door to get out of the room. Or you can get in. When there is darkness, you stumble, you grope, and you fall. Darkness represents ignorance and unawareness. Anger is nothing else but stumbling. Jealousy is nothing else but groping in darkness. Stumbling or groping in darkness is the two way of saying the same thing. All that is wrong, not because of itself, but because you are living in darkness. If a Jesus wants to be angry, he can be. Certainly he can use the anger as a tool. You cannot use it. Instead, you are being used by your lust, by your anger, by your jealousy, and all these things. If Jesus feels that it will be good and helpful, he can use anything as he is the master. If lust is needed for your growth, he will use it as a tool. If anger is needed, he will use it as a tool. Jesus can be angry without being angry. This is, you are in lust without being in lust. Jesus can be angry without being angry. How can that be possible? Yes, it happens. It happens because there is awareness. And in the pool of awareness, anger cannot remain. Anger is the negative aspect of anger will vanish. Only that which is transforming force of anger will remain there. Many people worked with Gurdjieff and he was a terrible man. When he was angry, he would be terribly angry. He would look like a murderer. Look like a murderer. But that was just a game. He's acting just a situation to help someone. Just a situation to help someone. And immediately, not a gap of a single moment is there, he would look at another person and he would be smiling. And he would look at the same person towards whom he had been angry, and he would be angry, terribly angry, looking terrible. It is possible. When you are aware, you can use everything as a tool to bring about transformation in someone where it is needed. It is possible when you are aware, you can use anything. Even poison becomes elixir. Poison becomes nectar when you are aware. And when you are asleep, even elixir, nectar becomes poison. Because the whole thing depends on your being alert. It depends on whether you are alert or not. Act do not mean anything. When I say act, it includes everything that you have to perform as a part of your living. Act do not mean anything. Act does not matter. What matters is your awareness. Your being conscious, mindful is what actually matters. What you do is not the concern. This is why people do not understand the master, their ways and methodologies. What do you do? What you do is not the concern. You are seeing the action, but you are not seeing the awareness. This is why people do not understand the master and their ways and means. How that could be possible? But for him, it's just a game, just a situation to help somebody. And immediately, not a single moment's gap would be there that he would look at another person and he will be smiling. What you do is not the concern. This is why people do not understand the masters and their ways and means and methodology. There was a monk, a Buddhist monk, a Buddhist master. His name was Nagarjuna. I have narrated this anecdote many times, but as many times it is needed, it needs to be repeated. It's a repetition of a lesson so that it becomes part of your consciousness. You understand it. You live by this. Everyone says that you have to leave this, you have to leave that. When you enter the spiritual path, you have to follow a certain discipline. You have to leave this and that. Nothing is to be left. The only thing that has to be left, it is better to say nothing has to be left. The only thing is this: you need to bring awareness into the act that you perform. Awareness is the torchlight. You are walking through the dark. What you do? You know that you are walking through the darkness. You need the light in your hand. You turn on your torchlight. It has a certain radius that it can reach up to 4 feet or so. You can see the path is clear up to 4 feet. By the time you move forward, the light also moves forward with you. You take one step forward, the light moves one step forward. The distance between you and the light, the focus of the light, remains the same. It does not change. As you take one step forward, the light moves forward one step. Then you take a next step, it moves forward one step. In the same proportion. Nothing else is to be done. So awareness is that light that moves with you as you move forward along the path. So there is no need that you have to leave this, you have to leave that, whatsoever it is. The only thing is this: you carry with you the lamp of awareness. You are a light unto yourself. The light moves with you as you move forward. It happened once a thief came to Nagarjuna. The thief had fallen in love with the master because he had not seen such a beautiful person, such an infinite grace surrounded him. He asked Nagarjuna, "Is there any possibility for me to grow as well? But one thing I want to make it clear to you, the thief said, I am a thief. I cannot leave it. So please do not ask or put any condition on me that I have to leave this or that. Without that, it cannot be, the transformation cannot be possible. I have tried many times, but it never worked with me that I could leave the act of stealing. I have accepted it as my destiny, and I am going to be a thief and remain a thief. So do not ask about it. From the very beginning, let it be clear. In a spiritual path, when you are traversing along the path, what happens? The master does the inscription, makes impression on your heart. Your heart becomes incandescent with his love. He has stolen your love, stolen your heart. He has stolen your heart. Nagarjuna said, there is no need for you to be afraid. And I am not going to ask you to leave your stealing, or I will not talk about your thieving. Normally an awakened one does not talk about your shortcomings. Unless you force him, you keep on asking him. Even then he tries to avoid any questions relating to your weakness, relating to your fear or anything. He simply tries to infuse something else. The thief replied, whenever I have gone to a monk or a master or an enlightened one or a religious priest or anyone, they always put this condition and ask to stop stealing. Because they do not know how can one transform without leaving the stealing. What is needed there to bring the light, the torchlight, the beacon light of awakening into you. To bring the beacon light of awakening into you, and the rest will happen on its own. You do not have to make any effort. So the thief said, whenever I go to a monk or a religious priest or person or anyone, they have always put this condition that transformation can only be possible if you stop thieving. Then why are you a master? You do not have to ask any or put any condition on to the seeker. Your love should be strong enough that these things vanish. Your love has to be so strong that all these things vanish as if the sun has risen, the dewdrop has evaporated. The dew that has fallen in the night on the petals of the flower has vanished. The dewdrops that were available, that were there on the blade of grass with the light of the sun, it has all disappeared. This is the So thief explained to his dilemma to Nagarjuna. Nagarjuna laughed and he responded, then you must have gone to thieves, not to a master. No master will ask you to leave this or that. Why should he be concerned with your thieving? I am not. You do whatever it is you have to continue to do. The thief was happy, and you said that you are the first person who had not put any condition on to me. No condition. Then it is okay. It seems now that I can become a disciple, and you are the right master because you have not put any condition that I have to leave this or that in order to continue the journey along the path. Nagarjuna accepted him as a disciple, and he said, now you can go and do whatsoever you like to do, but one thing has to be followed. Be aware, go, break into the house, enter, bring all that your consciousness allows you to bring. You can do that, and that is of no concern to me. I am not a thief, but do it with full awareness. The thief could not understand that he was falling into a trap. This methodology has been a trap, he said. Then everything is okay, and I will continue the path, continue to live. After 3 weeks, the thief returned to Nagarjuna, and he said, you are a strange person. You are very tricky. If I become aware, I cannot steal. I am stealing because there is unconsciousness and I am not aware. Because if I become aware, I cannot steal. If I steal, awareness disappears. I am in a fixed, not knowing what to do. Sometimes you are also always in that fix, what to do. You ask me to do anything I like, but with awareness. Nagarjuna responded, no more talks about your being thief or stealing. That is not my concern at all. I am not a thief. Now you decide. If you want awareness, then you decide, and if you do not want, then too you decide. The man said, but now it is difficult. I have tasted something, even though it is a very infinitesimal amount that you have offered me, I have tasted it. I will leave anything whatsoever you ask me to do. The thief said, just the other night I went for the first time. I was successful in breaking in the palace of the king. I opened the treasure. I could have become the richest man in the world. But you were following me like a shadow. And I had to be aware, as you said, do whatsoever you want, but be aware. When I become aware, suddenly, no motivation or desire to steal was there. When I become aware, diamonds look like pebbles, stones, and ordinary pebbles like stones. When I become aware suddenly, no motivation or desire to steal was there. And diamonds look like stones, ordinary stones, and the moment I lost awareness, the treasure was there. I waited and did this many times. I would become aware and I would be like a Buddha. I could not even touch the treasure. What am I going to do? Look myself, losing myself for these stones? But I would lose awareness and become thief again, and these treasures will become precious for me. But finally I decide that they were not worth it, and I return empty-handed. A stage comes when you realize that all these things are pebbles. You realize their true nature, and then it is impossible for you to enter into it. Once you have known awareness, once you have tasted it, nothing is worth it. You have known the greatest bliss. You have opened the treasure chest. Then suddenly everything simply drops and disappears from you as if it never existed. You had been lamenting how to control anger. You had been lamenting how to control the desire for sex, lust, or greed. Nothing has to be done. Continue to do as it is. Just let there be light, let there be awareness. Everything will happen as if it never existed, as if no desire is there, the dreams have fallen, that dream state that you were in that has fallen and you have become aware. This is awareness. And the moment it has come in, the lamp is lit within, the process of transformation begins. Nothing else is to be done then. Just bring that light, that awareness into you. Walk with this light always with you. Whether it is when the Zen master told the disciple, just go and see if sun has risen. It was night. Go and see if sun is risen. The disciple could not understand the words of master. He said, I could see it very clearly that the sun has not risen. He said, then carry the light with you, carry the lamp with you and see if sun has risen. Why do you have to carry the light to see the sun? This is the way the master speaks to you. He is talking. You understand this word lamp as you understand the lamp which requires the substance to light. This is light without light. Awareness is light without light. He is talking about the lamp that you are, the awakening, the witnessing. And the moment this happens there, you do not have to do anything. That is the master key that you have gotten. Never act out of unconsciousness. Bring the light, bring the awareness to any act that you perform, the process of transformation will begin. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.